All right, welcome back, guys. We're going to do some more simplifying radicals today, which I know you are all super excited about. All right, our biggest change today, in our fourth day of doing this, is you're probably noticing right away, hopefully you're not panicking, that you're seeing some variables inside here. So I'm going to show you today how we can handle those. And before you get upset and just turn this off, let me tell you, once you see how this is done, I don't think it's really any more difficult than any of the problems that you've done already so far. So, all right, let's get to it, and I'll show you how we can make this happen fairly easily. All right, we are going to do the same exact thing we've been doing. So we're going to break up our 20. Our 20 can factor into 5 and 4. That 20 is now gone. 5 is a prime number, but 4 breaks up into 2 and 2. So I cross that off. Now I'm looking for pairs, and I know I've got a pair of 2s. But before I put that out there, let's address these variables that are in here. So we also have now x to the 4th. Now what that means is that we really have 4 x's inside this radical. So x to the 4th can be broken up as 4 different x's. And then I've got y to the 3rd right next to it. That's no different than having 3 y's in here. 1, 2, 3. So now we're going to look for pairs with our x's and our y's, just like we did here. So you'll notice that we have a pair of x's and another pair of x's, and we also have a pair of y's. Okay, so I've got all these pairs. Those pairs, just like before, are going to come outside of my radical. Now, already sitting outside, you probably notice that we have a 5. So I'm going to keep that 5 out there. I'm going to add in our 2 that we had a pair of. We had a x and another x, and we also had a pair of y's outside. Now I'm kind of running out of room. Normally this would all be right next to each other. And inside my square root, we're going to have the 5, and we're also going to have that y that was left over. So now when I clean this up on the outside, I multiply these. I know that 5 times 2 is 10. I have 2 x's, so I'm going to write that as x to the 2nd. And then I have 1 y. And then inside my square root is going to be 5 and y. So my answer here will be 10x squared y, radical 5y. So it looks pretty complicated, but I think once you start doing this, you're going to realize that it's not really any harder than what you were just doing. All right, let's do one more example here just to make sure we got this before I send you off to do some examples on your own. So this is 6 square root of 70, x squared, y to the 4th. All right, so 70. I'm going to break that up into 10 and 7. I'm going to cross that off. 10 breaks up into 5 and 2. All right, x squared. That means I have 2 x's. Y to the 4th. That means I have 4 y's. All right, so I'm going to write this underneath just so we don't run out of room like we did the last time. Outside of my radical, I have the 6, which is right here. I'm also looking for pairs, so I look like I have a pair of x's. That's going to come outside. I have 2 pairs of y's, so also outside I have a y and a y. I don't have any other pairs of numbers. I have a 5, a 2, and a 7. So inside my radical, I'm going to be left with that 5, that 2, and that 7. There's no x's or y's that didn't have pairs. They're now outside. So now outside my radical, I have 6. I have x, and I have 2 y's, so I'm going to write that as y to the 2nd. Inside, I have 5 and 2 and 7. 5 times 2 is 10, times 7 is 70. So I'm left with 6xy squared times radical 70. All right, hopefully those weren't too difficult for you. If they are, definitely shoot me a message and we can do some more practice with these in the future. All right, see you next time.